So good.
You're listening to the Two Tongues Podcast. And now your hosts, Kyle and Chris.
Welcome back.
Buongiorno.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, one and all, to another episode of the Two Tongues Podcast, where it's so hot in here, I got to take the sweater off. It is very hot in here.
I feel pretty nice, but
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm
wearing shorts, though, you know.
I'm wearing shorts. I want to pop the window open.
Go for it, man.
That's okay. I'm on the camera now, so... Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Popping open the window was a thought for like 30 seconds ago.
Yep.
Too late now.
Too late. Too little, too late.
Too little, too late. That's what my grandma
You said it was a good size, Kyle.
Yep.
What's that from?
I don't know.
Too little? You said it was a good size. Oh, it's from Mallrats. It's from Mallrats.
Didn't we just have another Kevin Smith quote a second ago?
Probably. I'm proud of that.
Two Kevin Smith quotes?
Yeah,
I can't fucking talk. Two Kevin Smith quotes? That's like a tongue twister. Say two Kevin Smith quotes.
Two Kevin Smith quotes.
5 times fast.
Yeah, be a chore.
Yeah, it would be.
What's new, man?
You know, nothing's ever.
I did know it was nothing new. I asked you just to embarrass you.
Nothing's ever
in front of all these listeners.
Yes, all of these. Well, we do have over 500 subscribers now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Still,
is it though?
It's still small potatoes, but yeah, I don't know if it is or not.
I mean, the only reason I say is it like that is because we've like over the past. How many did we have? 300
and something, like a couple of months.
So we've almost doubled them.
Yeah,
and it just seems odd to me because it's from like advertising. You know.
Yep.
I think we talked about this on here before already. That it just makes me feel weird. It just makes me feel like people can buy like if you're willing to throw enough money at YouTube, it's like we'll get you. We'll build you an audience.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get you an audience if you want one.
I think that's true.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if I like that.
I don't know if I like it either. Excuse me. I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Just how you can organically build an audience or purchase one. And I didn't realize that was.
It makes me wonder if anybody really builds an
organic. Oh, it was the bots. It was the bot thing. That's what I was going to bring up. It makes me wonder. I'll tell you what I noticed. I noticed that if I try to promote on YouTube, if I try to promote an episode on YouTube, all of the activity seems to happen overnight, or at least like the biggest chunk of the activity seems to happen overnight. And it's like, what does that mean, man? Is that like is that like a farms in India or something? Mm-hmm. And it happens overnight because it's like that's a reasonable time in India. Overnight here is like a reasonable hour where people are working.
Yeah, I don't know the time. I know that in California it's 3 hours earlier. I don't know what time it is in India. So
yeah. You think that's difficult? Try to coordinate a podcast with somebody in Australia, Mr. Torrid. I'm talking to you, buddy. I was thinking about Daniel the other day.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's like every calendar quarter, I'll just get a little bit of a heartache, and I'm like, I haven't talked to Daniel in a while.
I miss my Australian English friend.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's a good dude.
I'm sure he would do another podcast with us anytime we wanted, basically. But I just wonder. I wonder how he feels after the last couple we did. You know.
I mean, immediately after both of them, he seemed in good spirits.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I hope that radio stuff he's doing works.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
It's a really interesting idea.
All kinds of cool stuff down there.
Yeah, for those people,
he's gonna be the president of Australia someday, I think.
Yeah, for those people who don't know, we were Daniel's got a license. Pull a little forward your actual head so we can see in the camera. He's got a license for a radio. I don't know what word to use. He has a radio station of his own in Eastern Australia. Is it Eastern Australia? Queensland, wherever that is, or is that what it is?
I have no idea.
Wherever that is, and so I got on the Australian radio with him, and we played music and talked about songs, and it was pretty cool, man. And so now he's been doing that kind of thing more, and now he's got because he's playing music in the local venues around. Now he's got those musicians.
Magicians.
he's got those magicians coming on and talking to him. So he's got this cool little local music scene that he's trying to help foster in that way. And I think that's really cool. I hope it works out, man.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Daniel Torridon is an enterprising.
Totally.
He's always doing something.
He is very enterprising, dude. He's got like multiple businesses. He's self-published a bunch of books.
Yeah,
like a bunch of books. I got 2 of them back there right now. Believing the Lie. That's his leaving the JW cult, the Jehovah's Witness cult book.
Can I see them in the screen?
No, not here on the screen. It's a little bit more that away. It's right past where right behind you where you can't see. In any case, Believing the Lie, and then my very favorite book of his, which is titled I Am God.
I Am. I wonder why you like that one. I wonder.
Yeah, buddy. Kyle, did you see that? What was it, yesterday? I think it might have been yesterday. There was like a fucking weird bootleg MMA match, and Johnny Manziel fought.
No,
Johnny Football,
yeah,
fought a mixed martial arts fight against somebody who I don't know. It was like a internet personality of some kind or other.
Okay.
And it's like the Jake Paul thing where they get these like sort of pseudo celebrity fights going on that people want to see. That's what seemed to be what they were trying to do.
So you don't know who the person he fought was?
I can find out.
No, I mean it's not that big of a. If you want to,
no, we should find out. Yeah, hold on. Let me. Perplexity. Hold on. I can guarantee you we're gonna have trouble. We're gonna have trouble with vowel placement when I try to spell.
I think it's IEL.
Manziel. Let's see.
Just put Johnny Football. It'll know.
Oh, I just typed in Johnny Manziel. That's probably not enough. That's probably not enough.
Johnny Manziel. It just gave you a picture.
There it is. There it is. I remember that guy, man. What a guy. Let's see here.
Why did he end up like sucking?
Yeah, he was like he tried his heart out. He was like Rudy.
Yeah, he was kind of a prick too, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was kind of cocky, and he had he just didn't have a good enough team behind him. And so, if he was going to be good. All right, here we go. I'm not interested in this. Bring me to the fighting.
You might have to. You have to actually act. Oh, does it say?
Here we go.
Who did? This is like a Jeopardy. There have been a handful of sketchy MMA fights going on.
Really?
Recently. Well, I was just talking about
Bob Minery. Do you know who he is?
No idea.
And it was a first round TKO. He beat the pants off of him. But
Johnny Manziel beat the pants off of Bob Minery?
Yes.
All right.
And all the hype behind it is that Bob Minery seemed to have been hyped up on some kind of stimulant during the fight because he was acting a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
And
Bob Minery, 38, is a social media personality known for comedic sports voiceovers and hosting the Zapped podcast. Okay. So none of that means anything to me, but
you've seen that bad lip reading where they do football.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's something like that. But in any case, I noticed that Johnny Manziel was not in particularly good shape. Neither was this Bob Minery fella. It was kind of fascinating because that guy had such a promising prospecting career in the NFL. And he was his own worst enemy. And then he was playing football in Canada. I'm pretty sure that was the story, that he got picked up by one of these teams in Canada. And that's kind of like the minor leagues. Like, we'll keep you warm. And if you get, if we get desperate, we'll bring you back up to the big leagues kind of thing. And I never heard anything more about it. And then he's fighting this nobody guy.
Trying to get some of that internet money, man. Trying to get on. It was in on the Jake Paul.
It was kind of embarrassing to watch, man. It was kind of embarrassing to watch. But Johnny Manziel did at one point. They got wrapped up and fell down, and then he ends up getting him in the full mount and just starts pounding on him, and that's when they called it. So that was cool. That was cool to see.
I wonder if Bob Minery or whatever the fuck this guy's name is. I wonder if he has any athletic experience at all, or if he just I mean, I don't really care, but
yeah, it was strange, man. I have no idea.
You're technically an internet personality, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Would you fight like who could you fight?
If the price was right?
Yeah, you do a boxing match?
Yeah, I think I probably would if the price was right. Yeah. If somebody was like, made it worth my while.
You versus Destiny. I mean, I don't know why Destiny you would even be on his radar, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would.
I'm just trying to pick somebody who, like, if I put you against like Sam Hyde's going to destroy you because he's gigantic.
I don't know who that is, but Destiny, I like this idea.
You don't know who Sam Hyde is?
Which one is he? You can be more specific.
Sam Hyde, he's funny. He's like I said, he's an ogre. He's a very large person. He's a guy he did a celebrity boxing match, and at the end of it, he called out Hassan Piker. He's like, Hassan Piker, and he said he was going to kill him. And the guy who was interviewing him was like, "You mean in the ring, right?" And he was like, "No, I'm going to come to his house." So fucking funny. Sam Hyde's great.
Well, that makes me love him already because Hassan Piker is he gets directly under my skin. That guy.
Yeah.
He's but he looks like he might be a formidable guy. He looks pretty big.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to fight Hassan.
Destiny, on the other hand, who also gets directly under my skin.
Yeah, that's why I picked.
I feel like I could mop the floor with him. So let's arrange this.
Yeah. Call him out.
I do it for like
cut a promo.
I do it for 100,000. It's not even that expensive.
I don't think you're getting that. I mean, 10,000 maybe. Would you do it for 10,000? I would. 100%.
Yeah, I might. I could be persuaded.
I mean, I would probably lose too because I'm not like.
Oh, come on! You wouldn't lose.
Oh, against Destiny? No, I don't think I would lose against Destiny. I could be surprised. Like Destiny's got money. Maybe he's like training jujitsu or something.
I know. Can you imagine being the guy that messed with Zuckerberg?
Oh yeah,
not realizing that he'd been training for all these years.
Yeah.
Oh god,
that would suck. Who would I fight?
Dude, I saw this. You've probably seen it. There was this clip online of this guy. He was like working at the mall. Mm. He looked like, if I remember correctly, he was like dressed up, shirt tucked in kind of thing. And then there was some black guy at the mall causing trouble. And he was pushing him. And the guy gets in this Taekwondo stance.
Oh, yeah.
And he just like ducks his head. And here comes his foot from behind. Yeah. And he clocks this guy right in the jaw. And he falls flat backwards. It was, I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but it was awesome.
It sounds awesome. I think I've seen that. It sounds familiar to me.
It was so unexpected and awesome.
What were we talking about before that?
Destiny.
Oh yeah,
fighting him with our fists.
I would fight that misfit patriot, dude. I would do that.
Oh really?
Do you know who that guy is?
I'll Chud the Builder.
I haven't seen. I've had him.
Chud the Builder's coming to mind, but I know who you mean. The guy with the clown makeup that.
No, I would not fight Paul Miller at all.
Paul Miller?
That guy's a fighter. He would fuck me up for sure.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
He like trained Taekwondo, and I generally like him.
Yeah.
Misfit Patriot is a guy. He's like a hardcore Zionist. He's a fucking retard.
Oh.
I would fight that guy.
Yeah.
He might beat me up. I'm not claiming to be like a tough guy. But I would just do it for a paycheck. Like
sure.
$10,000-$15,000. Yeah. I'm not saying that I would lose either. Like I might go punch that guy in the fucking head a bunch of times.
All you have to do is catch him.
Fine.
Just catch him. That's it. That's all you need to do. Get him close.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it's MMA and not boxing, which a lot of it seems to be boxing. It seems like a lot of them do boxing matches. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, I wouldn't want to fight Jake Paul. A bunch of people talk shit about Jake Paul like he's like some kind of a bitch in reality or something. It's like, yeah, he got knocked out. He got his jaw broken by a professional heavyweight boxer. Mm-hmm. It's like that's not anything. Who was
much bigger than him, by the way.
I mean, Jake Paul is
still,
that guy
Anthony Joshua was huge.
That guy's gigantic. Dude, his brother Logan Paul. He's in the WWE. He's fucking gigantic.
That's interesting. See, they are both huge. I have seen that guy pop up like on like commercials or something. I'd see him like in a wrestling context.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize he was like a pro wrestler. Is he a regular wrestler?
Oh yeah.
He's a professional wrestler. That's what he does.
He's a tag team champion.
Wow, really?
Yeah, him and some guy named Austin Theory are tag team champions.
Interesting. Golly, what about that? Man?
He's pretty good. I mean,
is he?
Yeah, he's pretty good. And you can, like I said, he's fucking huge. You can go back like 2 years ago, and he looks like
I remember.
shape. He's
I remember.
like very athletic looking. Now he looks like borderline Triple H. He's fucking gigantic.
What's his finisher? What's his?
I have no idea. I don't watch that closely.
Matt, put it in the comments. What's his?
I watch a bunch of wrestling content.
Yeah.
Like old school wrestlers, like they have podcasts talking about wrestling, talking about like old, road stories, things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't really watch a whole lot of. I actually just
more than one of these you listen to.
Oh yeah, I listen to tons of them.
Who are the good ones?
Stevie Richards has probably my favorite podcast.
Stevie Richards.
I
don't know who this is.
He was an ECW wrestler, and then he was in WCW and WWE. He got around,
Yeah.
I like Stevie Richards' podcast a lot. Jim Cornette has a great podcast. I don't really like Jim Cornette that much, but excuse me, the coffee's fucking me up. He just has a lot of knowledge and a lot of really good stories, and he is funny, but he just like talks about politics too much. I just don't give a fuck about what Jim Cornette thinks about Donald Trump or Trump supporters.
Yeah, totally.
Like that.
I take it he's negative towards them.
Oh yeah. And I mean, so am I sometimes, to be fair. I just don't care about it. I just wish I didn't have to listen to Jim Cornette talk about fucking politics. He doesn't do it that often, but who else? Undertaker has, Undertaker has a podcast that is not that great, but he like goes on things, and that's interesting sometimes. Stone Cold's.
Oh, I'm sure that's entertaining.
Yeah, Stone Cold's the man.
Does the Rock? I mean, he probably doesn't do it as the Rock.
No, he's an actor. He's like Hollywood. He's not doing podcasts.
Yeah, he could easily.
Oh,
and he could be Joe Rogan level.
A lot of people think that he's going to do some politics eventually.
Well, I hope
he's going to make his way into politics.
I sure hope not.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like politics always suffers from this, like popularity contest sort of thing that happens where dumb people vote for people because they're handsome or something,
or they're The Rock,
or they're famous.
Yeah.
And I just think that's like the fall of the Roman Empire type shit. Like it's idiocracy level shit, and I feel like that's a sign of very bad things to come. Man, I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah. I guess I don't.
I mean, it's possible that you could be a current or former, Hollywood celebrity of some form,
a really good job,
and be like
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. Ronald Reagan, yeah.
I mean, depending on how good of a job you think he did, people are split on it.
Yeah, I haven't studied it much. I've just heard.
I don't fucking know how good of a job Ronald Reagan did.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people hold him up as a really good president, but I don't know.
That's because he said, what did he say? His famous line was,
"Tear down this wall."
No, well, that one too. One where he says, what does he say?
Mr. Gorbachev.
No, it's like the government is the problem. What's that one? Is that what he does? He goes.
He said, I know he's got the one that's the however many words that everyone's afraid to hear. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, good
one. He did have some zingers, but
also a handsome fella in his day.
Yeah, he's a classically handsome fella.
Yeah,
played some cowboys in movies. That's pretty cool.
Have you been following any of this Spencer Pratt stuff? Running for mayor of Los Angeles?
No, I didn't.
Really?
No, I had no idea about that.
Do you know? Really? Do you know?
I'd not heard of it.
Do you know who I mean when I say Spencer Pratt?
I vaguely know who Spencer Pratt is. He's like a reality TV kind of.
That's about how much I couldn't even remember what show.
I don't even think he. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I was gonna say I don't even think he was ever like a really big one. Like he's not like a Kardashian level.
No. I think wasn't he married? He was married to some other celebrity.
I remembered him being a part of like a couple, but I have no idea who.
Yeah, here we go.
What his wife's name
American reality TV personality, best known for The Hills.
The Hills. I remember the name of The Hills. I never watched.
Currently a candidate for Los Angeles mayor. His home burned down in 2025 in the Palisades fire. It hasn't been rebuilt. So this has been part of what he's been using as his argument, as his platform. But what he's been doing is he's been ruthless against the existing mayor, the incumbent, black lady. I can't remember her name now. It's not coming to me. It's probably in here somewhere. Heidi Montag is his wife. That's the other celebrity. Remember her?
No,
actress.
really.
We'll look up a picture of her. She's a pretty girl. Any case, he's been pretty ruthless with this mayor lady when they did the debates. But he's also been doing all these commercials, and because he's like Hollywood sophisticated, I guess, like more than the existing mayor is, he's been putting together these like largely AI videos of where he's Batman, and all of the villains are like the existing mayor and all these public figures, and he's like just putting out these ruthless campaigns online, making them look like villains, like that, like they are, bashing them for the homeless situation.
What's he running as? Independent or Republican?
Good question.
Because the mayor of Los Angeles is obviously a Democrat, right? Like, there's no way that it's anything but a Democrat, unless it's something further to the left than Democrat. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like some kind of democratic socialist. Let's
find out if he's running as a Republican or not. Yes, he's running as a Republican. That's what it is. Okay. Wow. There he is, man.
Republicans are kind of the cool party at this point.
Do you remember him with the highlights? There he is. Here he is now.
I don't at all.
You don't remember this guy?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that was him. But if you should seriously look it up just for some of the commercials and some of the debate moments. Like, I remember hearing somebody, now I can't remember who, talking about how dangerous Spencer was as a candidate before he really started like saying anything publicly or whatever. Like in the very early stages, they're like, you got to be careful of this guy. He's going to have like public appeal because of his fame, but he's terrible. You don't want to vote for him. And then you see what he's saying and what he's putting out, and you're just like,
hard to argue.
Yeah, it's like, it's creative.
Well, what is he saying? I mean, I don't know if you know this stuff. I don't.
All the stuff.
We don't have to look it up. It's not that.
Well, I'm just basing it just off the commercials, but it's all the stuff like the city of Los Angeles is putting all this money into the homeless problem, but it's all corruption.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's like drug needles at all the public parks. And like, they're really doing nothing to solve the homeless problem or the drug problem, and the schools are terrible. And it's like, he's just saying that. He's just putting it out there and saying, like, all these villains that we continue to vote in are just raping and robbing the city. And he's positioning himself as the hero that's coming in. And it's interesting, man. I don't know how I feel about it, because like, honestly, it raises the bar. Like, it influences people, right? When you use that kind of media, and it's entertaining. It's like you're crossing over a line from politics into Hollywood or something. And once you raise the bar to that, once some candidate comes out and is doing some interesting shit like this, if you want to compete with him, you got to do it too, And like, what does that mean? Does that mean in the future we're going to have like producers and directors and stuff for every candidate, right? They're going to have teams of writers and focus groups and shit. And I think
you might be surprised how many of them already are doing that.
Man,
yeah. Oh man. I would not be surprised at all, especially for really big campaigns.
Oh yeah.
I would not be surprised at all.
I got that feeling about the Kamala campaign.
Oh yeah.
It just seemed like
she was getting.
Yeah, it seemed like it was
a lot of help.
It was like it was down to a science. The strategy,
and it fucking didn't work.
Nope.
Down to a science. That's about right.
Yeah. I got a call on my phone the other day. It was one of those political
polling.
Kind of
thing, yeah.
So I was like,
I get text messages.
I was out to dinner, and the call was a local area code, and so I answered it, and then I just put it on speakerphone, and me and my wife were having dinner, answering questions on this political poll.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't ever respond when I get the text messages.
Yeah.
Sometimes I send back rude text messages like, don't ever fucking text me again.
Yeah.
Just because I kind of hate politics, man.
Totally.
I still like keep an eye on it, like very what's the word I'm looking for? Like very sparingly, I guess. But I don't care, man. I'm so like disenfranchised.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you said you wanted to talk about was Nick Fuentes telling people to vote Democrat. And that's my first question is, did he actually say vote Democrat, or did he say don't vote Republican?
I think he very clearly said to vote Democrat. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, like I heard people say, like, this was the plan all along. Like Nick Fuentes has always been a plant for the Democrats, and
that's a stupid idea in my opinion. But go ahead.
But if you take what he's saying at face value, what he's saying is, we threw our support behind this America First thing, and it's not going well, and so we have to punish the people who promised and didn't deliver, and the best way to punish them is to vote for the other party. And maybe that's a legitimate, maybe he's being honest, and that's honestly what he's trying to do. But my fear is that the potential damage over the next 4 years is so great that I'm like, how could you say such a thing, man? Like I'm not okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have mixed feelings about it too. But I do think that there's this idea that, like, it's like he's saying vote for the Democrats because the Republicans just keep betraying you, and people are like, oh no, we can't do that. Instead, they're just going to keep voting for the Republicans who continually betray them.
Yeah.
It's like eventually the Democrats are going to get back into power, and the Democrats are going to do the things that the Trump and the Republicans are like two pussies to do.
Totally. Yeah.
They're going to do it. They're going to stack the Supreme Court. They're going to end the filibuster. They're they're going to do all the things that I have been saying this entire time that we should do.
They're going to figure out how to redistrict all that shit back to the.
Now, maybe somebody could say that I'm like anti-democratic, and basically I am. I'm not ashamed of that at this point. I think that most of the people in the United States are fucking stupid, and I don't think that they should have any say over how things are going.
Yeah.
I don't think that they should have a say if they can't figure out how to have an ID. I don't think that they should have a say if they are like a net draw on the tax system.
Yep.
That's
one thing that when I hear Andrew Wilson and Rachel Wilson say that, when they're talking about, like when people press them on how they would change voting laws, and recently
that's what they say.
Well, recently Andrew's been talking a little bit about that, but yeah, they say that if you're in a situation where you're a net
a burden, like
you're a net taker.
Yeah,
you're taking more in government benefits than you're paying in taxes. You should not have the ability to vote. And the rationale for it, like before you fucking get up, not you, but like anybody in the audience gets up in arms about this. The rationale is that why would you want to give people the ability to vote for their own shit? Because that's what you're doing. You're getting people dependent on handouts from the government and putting them in a position where they can vote to keep it going or to increase it. It's like what we have in Congress, where they literally vote for their own raises.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, you get somebody dependent on something, and then you let them decide whether or not they're going to stay on that thing. Of course, they're going to fucking choose to stay on it.
Do you want to be socialist?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be capitalist?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, capitalism, it has its positives, but I can see some limitations in that too. But like, yeah, I think mostly I would lean that way, for the most part. That's what I would prefer.
Yeah. What else did Andrew say about that? He said that he proposed some kind of a voting system where families were given a vote rather than individuals, so that you wouldn't have situations where husband and wives are like pinned against each other and they're canceling each other's votes and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's never going to go over here. Not right now, I mean, it's never going to go over like, what am I trying to say? Like if we put it to a democratic vote, that's not going to get passed right now.
Yeah, sure.
If we don't, then maybe it gets instantiated some other way. But yeah, I mean, people aren't going to vote for that.
I mean, I like the idea that people who are genuinely invested in the society get a disproportionate like voice in the political system. I think there's something to that makes sense. Like if I'm a like a business owner and I'm bringing a bunch of jobs and I'm paying a bunch of taxes, it's kind of a difficult thing for me to say that person's vote should matter more than somebody else's. But the idea of like somebody who's has a family at home, husband and wife and kids, and you're raising kids, that raising the next generation, and that's obviously fundamental importance for society to continue. We need to have children, and if you're taking on the role of raising children and saying, okay, well, this person's bringing people that they love more than anything in the world into this society, and wanting them to flourish into the future, they have a vested interest in making sure the future is positive for their children. So, it's like, should their vote matter more than somebody who's, a net drain on society? Like, I mean, kind of seems like maybe a good idea.
I think that there are a bunch of different things that could qualify somebody for being eligible to vote, but I think that there are a ton of people who, even if you do have multiple things that qualify you to vote, there are still a ton of people who are not going to meet any of those, even if you make like quite a bit of it,
Yeah.
Even if you give them like a good long list of possible, there are just some people who are not going to meet any of those requirements.
Yeah.
A lot of them. A lot of the people that and like are not going to meet some of those requirements, so I don't know.
Yeah. He's talked about like Andrew's talked specifically about what would be qualifying events. Like if we were trying to come up with a new system, and he was like, military service is one that maybe you would give, and that makes some sense. Or like public service, maybe like if you're a school teacher or work at a hospital or something like that. I don't know. I do like the idea, or at least I'm not against the idea of having some kind of civics exam component. Like in order to vote, you have to be able to prove that you understand how our system is supposed to function.
That's racist, dude. You can't say that. You can't say that at all.
Yeah. And maybe even rather than just a high level test like that, like a citizenship type of a test, you should have one that's about the issues specifically. I don't know how you would manage that, like in a non-biased way, but it's like if you're going to vote on, I don't know, like I'm just thinking about local stuff now, but like if I'm going to, like as an example, every fucking 2 years, there's a levy for the schools, for the fire department, for the library. And you know what, man? I don't know what the situation is at the library. Do they need money? Do they like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a citizen, but I'm not informed. Even on the local smallest level, like, are they hurting for money over there at the library? Like where are their sources of income? Like why are they asking me for this money every 2 years? I don't know. And for shame, like maybe I should be disallowed to vote because I don't know any of the answers to those questions. But that's the truth.
So if that's the case, okay, so you go to vote, it's not always just one thing that you're voting on. So are you like, if you're voting for mayor, it's like this guy says this guy says this, I'm very well informed on this, but you don't know about the levy. Do you not get to vote for any of it? Do you have to look into all of the stuff on the ticket?
And in this example, I think maybe you can vote on anything except for the issues you don't know shit about.
Yeah, I think that
there should be like a buzz, like a buzzing sound and a red light that goes off, like when you're playing Operation and you hit the sides of the thing.
Yeah,
it's like if you're trying to vote for something you don't know shit about, that's what should happen.
I think that just like a general test before for like not being fucking retarded.
That would weed out a lot of people for sure. Yeah. And the test is only in English.
Oh yeah.
Only in 100%. English. 8th grade English. So that's going to rule out like 60% of the people.
Maybe even higher than 8th grade. Like, let's take it a little bit higher. Like graduate, high school graduate.
There you go.
You know?
Yep.
I think that's good. I think that's fair. So it's racist, but it's fair.
If you can't, if you can't graduate high school, I know there's extenuating. What's the word?
Extenuating
circumstances.
Yeah.
But boy, if you can't graduate high school, should you be empowered to vote for?
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there are definitely some people who don't graduate high school who are smart enough to vote. So
yeah, that's the thing. You're right about that.
Yeah. So I think that some kind of proactive thing, like a test that you have to go take, you know, if you want to vote, you have to go take the initiative and go take the test.
There you go. There you go.
I like that.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. It would have to be a free. I don't think they would let you like charge to take the test. Have to be free.
Yeah.
But you have to register. You got to schedule it. You got to go. You got to take the initiative. You got to get it. Oh, and by the way, the tests are only done at like 9 a.m. It means you got to be there.
Yeah.
You got
on time.
Yes. So that's going to weed out most of the people you don't want to vote in anyway.
Yeah.
The people that sleep in, those lazy
the
bastards.
People who can't be on time for anything.
All those people.
So what do you think about all this? It's crazy. We talked about Chud the Builder, and then he fucking shot someone like the next day.
That was pretty interesting, timing wise, yeah. Because, like, you know, that's very strange, man. Because leading up to that, there was a bunch of people saying exactly what happened was going to happen.
Yeah,
it was almost like they were prophetically telling the future, or they were like willing it to happen. But people were saying, like, this guy's going out, he's talking to people in public, he's calling them the N-word to their face. You know, someone's going to hurt him, probably shoot him. And, you know, that's exactly what happened.
It was him shooting someone else. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly like Nostradamus level prophecy, you know, like, you know, and it's personally why I'm pretty much 100%. Like, I think that I think Chud's innocent. I think I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
But basically it's pointing out the fact that the reason it's not a Nostradamus level prediction is because Black people have a reputation of getting angry and violent, and they'll tell you that. They will fucking tell you that. They'll go look at any of the posts involving Chud. There's always some Black person who's like, bet you wouldn't say it to my face.
Mm.
Why wouldn't I say it to your face? What would I be afraid of? Possibly, you know?
Yeah.
So the whole thing I think is ridiculous. I hope he is found innocent. I have no faith that he will be, because I think that we have a two-tier justice system.
They're clearly already skewing it.
Oh yeah,
against him because of the way they're handling bail with him.
Yeah, it was like what, 2 million or something, like 2.5 million or something like that.
He's not a rich man. He's basically a nobody.
And he has money in it, like a GoFundMe type of a
situation.
They won't let him use it.
Let
him fucking use it.
Exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
So they say to him, okay, you're just a regular guy, so we're going to give you like a rich person's level of bail, a 1 point something million, and oh, you mean people have saved a bunch of money and given it to you so that you can get out of jail? We're not going to let you use it. It's clearly biased against the guy. Yeah. Clearly already.
Yeah.
So I don't have any confidence that anything else is going to be fair with him. So I agree with you. But to the same token, I think this is an interesting situation because it's shining a light on something we talked about last time, which is that saying the N-word
excuses.
It seems to be an acceptable thing to excuse violent behavior for Black people in the United States. It seems almost socially acceptable that is the case. And here we have this fact clashing with the law, which says that we have freedom of speech, and then nothing you say is illegal. Nothing you say is justifies violence. And here we have a situation where like practical knowledge is clashing with the law, and it'd be interesting to see what happens, because I think that the left-leaning judges and people are going to be hoping that they get some purchase with this idea that it's hate speech and that somehow his words were contributory to the violence, that somehow what he said excuses it or makes himself complicit in it somehow. So he's not innocent in it. And so this is what they're going to be arguing about. And I find that to be very interesting to see. I'm not hopeful they're going to land in the right place. I think the right place is you can say whatever the fuck you want. And if somebody puts their hand on you, they're the ones that are at fault. And that's how justice should come down. That's how the hammer should come down. But I don't think that is likely.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. He's from Tennessee, you know. I don't know what part of Tennessee it is that it happened in, but I don't know, man. The whole thing is fucking stupid. Because a lot of people are like saying that he's guilty, or that he deserves to be guilty. And I just don't see it, man. Like I've watched a bunch of that guy's videos, and he doesn't go up to random black people and call them, antagonize them. You know, he like goes out and like the video that he got famous for, they were you know, they were parked in the fire lane. They were blasting their music. You know, it's like, don't be assholes, you know?
Yeah.
Don't fucking blast your music through your phone speaker on the fucking subway.
You wanted to say chimp out twice so far.
No, actually, I wasn't even thinking about it, but you could. You could easily.
But even so, man, like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like if like the older people, when I was a kid, the older people who were teaching me how to be a man were teaching me self-control and teaching me like sticks and stones will break your bones and all this stuff. That I was being a mature, responsible man if I was able to hold my anger, if I was able to prevent myself from acting out, if I was able to conquer my passions, right? So that I wasn't at the whim of my anger, but I was in control of it. That was something that was considered to be a virtue. Why that's not the case, like universally, is an interesting thing.
Like, it's good for you to withhold your passions like that, but for black people, it's good for them to get it out. You know, they've just had so much wrong done to them that they need to get that out.
Do you think that is? I mean, that must be associated with the fatherless epidemic. Like the people who were telling me to control myself were the men.
Yeah, not being able to marshal it's like a masculine thing. That's lost, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Boy.
I think that's probably right. Did you by any chance watch the Comedy Central, or no, not Comedy Central, the Netflix roast of Kevin Hart?
I did not. No.
Talking about racism made me think about it because, you know, it's a bunch of black people.
I heard some of the backlash surrounding Shane Gillis and somebody else.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Chelsea Handler.
Yeah.
When Shane was introducing her, he said, Chelsea Handler's here. Her middle name is Penis Handler. That's a good one, man. But yeah, it was pretty funny. You should watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just lots of racist jokes. Chelsea was bothered by that, you know,
of course,
because she fucks black guys, so
of course
she gets defensive.
Yeah,
you know.
I saw a meme the other day. It was like the picture of a woman bent over on her hands and knees. The position, you might call it like a doggy style position.
You might call it.
And that was one frame. And the other frame was this out of focus picture of a cat. It was just the head of a cat. And it was like moving really quick. So it was like blurry.
Yeah.
It was like, I can't remember exactly what the meme was, but it was like the cat was the man in the situation. And he was giving it everything he had. And the meme was something, the little box with his thoughts in it was something like me giving it everything I can so that she doesn't leave me for a black guy or something like that. I'm not doing justice to it, but it was classic.
A funny one. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You'll have to find it and send it to me because you really didn't do it justice there. I'm not even sure. What is the first? I'm sorry. The first picture is of what?
Like a girl bent over, like she's getting ready to take it.
I missed that somehow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got
it.
And
then the guy is like this crazy cat, blurry picture of a cat.
I figured it had to be something like that, but I somehow missed that.
All right. Excuse me, man. I got a list here. I got to get to this list. I don't know how long we've been talking. Too long, man. All right, listen. So I was listening to one of these trans debates. I don't know. It's kind of like exhausting at this point because this has been going on for.
Are we still talking about this?
For a long, long time.
Yeah.
But the argument was interesting. It was like talking about why men and women exist at all, like why the sexes exist at all.
Yeah.
And like from an evolutionary perspective, and it's talking about how nature specializes. So like, if you go back far enough in time, we're just single-celled organisms that were reproducing asexually. So we just copy our genes and then we just split from ourselves. And then we just keep splitting and splitting and splitting. So we're just splitting from ourselves. But it turns out that there's an advantage in having some other creature's DNA to mix with yours, because then you get different combinations of things that might be beneficial to you. So it turns out sexual reproduction is more efficient than asexual reproduction. And so all you need is the cells to specialize. So rather than just being one cell that duplicates, now you have one cell that's a man and a woman. Then they come together and make a new cell, and it's even better than the old way. And the argument starts there, like at the very beginning of the evolutionary argument, and it continues, and how nature specializes. And so what you end up with is, and I was thinking about this in terms of like an ant colony, because just like an easy, excuse me, it's just like an easy thing to picture. So in the ant colony, you have a bunch of eggs that hatch, right? And some of them are queens, and some of them are soldiers, and some of them are workers. And they're not, it's like all the ants aren't the same. Like nature makes them different because it works best that way. Like if you have soldier ants and shit hits the fan, you need some ants that are going to be able to protect you. Guess what? We have these specialized part of our group that can go and fuck shit up. If we need worker ants, because we got to build the thing, right? We have people for this. We have people for this, right? So you specialize. Nature specializes, and it makes things more efficient. And this is exactly the pattern for sexual bimorphism, which is what they call it, right? We become a man or a woman because we're specialized for different shit. And then these
very sexist already.
And then these
well.
Sorry, guys. Well, anyway, then these trans people come in and they try to suggest that the specialization that evolution has created is bigoted.
Yeah.
And they're trying to pull the rug out from under these efficiencies that we created. And so, like, you remember, we've talked about this so many times, but remember how I was telling you about the metal band where the girl was screaming, and I just thought it was so unladylike and unattractive, off-putting. It's like, this is the situation that we're in, man, where we have a bunch of people who are specialized to make babies and to care for them, and then we're making them soldier ants and we're making them worker ants.
Yeah,
and they're not
singers of screamo bands,
and we're just wondering why society is falling apart. Yeah. It's like nature, like this is beyond any conversation about racism or sexism or structural inequality or any of that. I'm talking about nature and evolution. I'm talking about the blind, if you believe this, right? The blind process of random changes that allow, life to continue. This has created specialization, right? and it has all kinds of evolutionary advantages. And we're told that that doesn't exist anymore. And we're trying to force, square pegs and through round holes and just march along like happy people. Like this is all gonna work out fine. Like we're literally running upstream against nature. And I just find that to be fascinating, man. Like, I don't know if like this framing is something that is coming across to you as new, or if this is just par for the course, but this whole idea that evolution, that nature has created specialization, and that we're trying to pretend at this point that isn't real. And we are not worried about what the consequences are going to be. That our survival has been based on the specialization that nature created millions of years ago. Mm-hmm. We know better, though, Kyle. We know better.
Yeah, it's the reason I just don't have a whole lot to say about the trans stuff anymore, because I feel like most people at this point are not on board. It's still clinging on. There are still a bunch of fucking trans people trying to make it a thing.
Yep.
But it's like Mean Girls with fetch.
You can't make fetch work.
It's not gonna happen. So I don't know, man. I just don't fucking care. I guess I should still, because you never know. You never know that when it could bubble back up and be a problem again. I think it is still a problem, to be fair, but less than it has been. I just think that people think it's dumb.
How do you think that argument would go over with these trans people, these trans activist type people? Like if you're sitting,
the argument you just made about
if you're sitting down on the whatever podcast and you're right across the table from some 22-year-old Asian lady with a septum,
giant boobs out,
and her septum pierced, and you say, you're saying that it's some kind of a moral good to not recognize the distinction between a man and a woman unless they tell you that they want a particular distinction. That you're just going to pretend like there's this, blank slate situation going on until someone fills you in on it. Like, and man, my throat is so freaking raw.
You get some water, bro.
I just wonder if the idea that, like, listen, why do men and women exist to begin with? And if you understand, like, following the science, like they like to do, that nature created these distinctions to fill certain functions, and that men and women exist for a reason, because we need them. We need different types of people to do these different things. Nature needs us to be different. And we're turning around and say, oh, no, we're not.
Everyone's exactly the same.
How would that argument go over with a 20-something-year-old liberal?
I don't know, man. I don't know. So I don't think that a lot of these people, like the foot soldiers of the trans movement, I don't think a lot of them are really like thinking human beings, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
They're NPCs?
Yeah. I think they've got like some like uploaded programming from society, like this societal standards have booted up this programming in them, and they're just kind of walking around bumping into shit, starting fires.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think that they've thought about it at all. They've heard some like very shallow like sloganeering that they found convincing, and they've just bought it wholesale. Now the people that I do think are like manipulating society for that, and have been over the last 100 years, I think it, like, all of this reminds me of the quote, and I can't remember the exact wording. There's like one word that I'm like missing, but it's from Karl Marx, I think. And if it's not by Karl Marx, it's I'm like 99% sure it is by Marx, but it's in reference to like capitalism, or I'm sorry, what's the other one? Communism, yeah. And like Marxism, and it's the ruthless undermining of everything that exists. You know what I mean? Just destroying everything so that you can like rebuild how you want to, even reality, like I can understand to some degree, like tearing down capitalism, because capitalism is not reality. Capitalism is an idea, but sex and like science,
Totally.
that's like reality.
Yeah.
They want to destroy all of it. They just want to like,
you see
they
that
want to muddy the water on everything so that they can rewrite things how they want it to
totally.
be.
Yeah, you see that specifically with the postmodern take on language.
Maybe it's postmodernism that has that quote.
Well, it's all,
but yeah, it's all the same thing.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Destiny earlier and how I would brutally beat him in a boxing match for $10,000. But he's the kind of guy that every time you hear him debate, man, it's always this sort of like, what do they call that? It's like a shoulder roll in boxing where you somebody strikes at you and you kind of roll away from the punch. He does that every single time he's attacked in a debate with language. He's like, well, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? Give me a particular example. It's always this thing, man. It's always this, what would you call that? Just like this, loosey-goosey way with language where things don't really mean anything. Nothing really means anything.
Yeah.
And, it's like this weird, like perversion of the Socratic thing where if you ask somebody questions, by the time you're like 2 or 3 levels in, you start getting into these real fundamental questions like what is good?
Yeah.
And then people can't answer because they're like philosophical questions at that point. And that's the corner Destiny tries to paint people into all the time, just by pretending that words don't mean what they mean.
Yep. Which is why people like Andrew and like, I don't know if Destiny's ever debated Jay Dyer, but Destiny's not going to do well against somebody like that because they actually have answers for those questions. They're happy to go into that kind of stuff with Destiny. Like most people, when you see these debate shows, like the ones where it's like a bunch of people going up against one person.
Yeah.
A lot of those people, and I know there are some people in there who are really sharp, but there's also going to be people in there who like don't really know debate, and they just go in there and they think that they've got a good point. And it's like, okay, but we can just pull this apart really easily.
Totally.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Destiny's always going to do pretty well against people like that. And I think there are a lot of people who go on like the types of shows that Destiny goes on who think that they're really good debaters and they're not.
Yeah.
They Destiny can make them look stupid.
Totally.
So
yeah. Well, that's what he's made a career out of.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to debate Destiny. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't want to debate Destiny or that girl who, not so erudite who is like his little, she's like his little protege.
Yeah. She's a pretty girl.
Oh yeah. She's very attractive, but it's just, I feel like it's a lot of sophistry from both of them, to be honest with you. Like it's a lot of
totally
like, pretending to be philosophical and like, it's just a bunch of misdirection, really.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I feel about postmodernism in a nutshell. It's a bunch of misdirection and shallow. All right, so I'm trying to think here. We did we did that one. Oh, we were going to talk about Thomas Massie in the same breath as the Nick Fuentes conversation, telling people to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Because of course Thomas Massie just got ousted in the primaries primarily because he wouldn't vote with Trump. And, part of me thinks that Thomas Massie is principled. He's a very principled guy.
Yeah.
But the fact that, he votes with Democrats sometimes, this is the link between it and the Fuentes conversation. Where do you land on that?
I think that Thomas Massie is a principled person. And I think that saying that he votes with Democrats is, I think, kind of a big, like, over exaggeration. I think he votes with the Republicans, like
most of the time,
vast majority of the time. Now he does do it again. He votes with Democrats on occasion. And generally it's like in a time where it's like, Thomas, we could really use you being a pal at the moment.
He's kind of like the Fetterman, right? He's kind of like the one that that keeps being a thorn in the side.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because Fetterman has been lately a thorn in the side of the Democrats.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about it because obviously, if anybody has listened to this podcast remotely, you know that I'm not a huge fan of our relationship with Israel. And Thomas Massie, I think, is on the right side of that. But I do think that there's like the reality that Donald Trump is the president of the United States and that we have allies and that we have to work with our allies in some capacity. And I don't know, man. I was going to say we have to what's the word I'm looking for? Like we have to do things for our allies to maintain our ally. But have we not done enough? Do we have to keep fucking going all the time? I guess the people who are like 100% on board for Donald Trump would be like, Iran's a danger to the rest of the world. And it's like, I just don't see it, man. People have been saying that for decades. People have been saying Iran's going to get a nuke any day now for decades.
Yeah.
And it's never happened. And they've not been saying it like one of these days Iran might get a nuke. They've been saying the entire time, decades, like 2 weeks from now, they're going to have a nuke.
Yeah.
And with complete sincerity. And people just this is what I'm talking about with Nick Fuentes. Like, how many times do I let you fucking lie to my face before I do vote for the Democrats? Because fuck you. Not because I like them, but because fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not against the fuck you vote. I think it's a very powerful thing. That's the power of a representative democracy, is to be able to say fuck you like that. But I'm just afraid that the damage of it's almost like a prideful thing to say fuck you and vote Democrat, and then the Democrats get in power and do everything you said that they would do. They start using lawfare against conservatives. They pack the Supreme Court with a bunch more liberal judges with life terms, right? They start letting illegals vote, whatever it is, whatever they're doing. The potential damage of any of that is like, it's not worth the ideological exercise of rubbing it in the face of the conservatives. I don't know.
I don't think it's about rubbing it in the face of the conservatives. It's about like I don't know. I guess maybe you could call that rubbing it in their face, but
it's a bit of a nana boo boo, stick your head in doo doo situation.
I guess, I don't know. I just don't really see it that way. Like, I see it as more like nana and a boo boo, stick your head in doo doo doesn't seem like a principled stance, and it does seem like a principled stance to me. It seems like again, like, how many times am I going to let you just lie to my face over and over and over again about a million different things?
Yeah.
And like you said that if the Democrats, if they get back into power, are going to do the things that I said, but if the Democrats don't get back into power this election cycle, they're going to in the next one or the next one. It's going to happen eventually. And so, like, we're just kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just fucking hate all of these people. I don't know who to trust. I don't really trust any of them.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Not so much in the midterms, but in the next presidential election for sure. Especially now, JD says he's not running.
What?
Oh yeah, you didn't hear that?
No.
Yeah. He said he's not running in 2028.
Really?
And I wonder if it's because he's got Trump stink all over him now.
Oh.
I wonder if he's gonna sit one out.
Yeah, you're right. He might.
I don't know, man.
And if he doesn't, then it'll be Rubio. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'll change the subject to something I think that's stupid. But I think it might open up into an interesting conversation, and hopefully you'll get what I mean. But I'll just tell you, I was vacuuming the upstairs the other day, and I wasn't like trying to do a great job. I was just trying to
clean up a little bit.
Just what the obvious stuff,
yeah.
And because I have like wood floors and tile floors up there, everything's kind of noticeable if there's crumbs around. So I just bring out the vacuum, and I'm not like I'm mowing the lawn where I'm going in rows. Like I'm going to get every single thing.
You're like spotting.
I'm just exactly.
Yeah.
I'm actually connecting the dots. Really, I'm following crumb to crumb, connecting the dots as I'm vacuuming all around this. And I had this thought, and this is embarrassing, but I'll just tell you the thought that I had, because I'm a nerd, and this is the kind of thoughts sometimes that I have. So so it was something like this. It was like every single crumb that I was seeing. I don't know what it was, man. Like maybe it's like a piece of breadcrumb, or some candy the kids dropped, like whatever it was. It could be anything. They're too small for me to even really know what they are. But every single piece of dirt on this floor has an origin story. It got there somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of like mind-blowing in and of itself, that every single thing on this floor and this random pattern strewn about, everything has a reason and a purpose and a telos for being there. And I don't know what they are, but they're all there for a reason. And they're spread about in this random pattern that I can't predict. It's totally random. And then my decision to go from this crumb to that crumb, that's also random. And I got this idea in my head, like, I wonder if you could track my vacuum, and I could see, like, on a computer screen or on a piece of paper, the motions that I took as I was randomly going around the place, vacuuming up all the crumbs. Then I would have this image of, like, a bunch of lines crossing over themselves and looping around. And it would be like a random chaotic image, almost like a ink blot situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then what I have here is something that, like, is equivalent to things that people used for divination in ancient times. So, they would kill an animal and they would take its intestines out, throw them down on the ground, and then they would read from the patterns of the intestines what the future holds. And they would do this with, like, bones. They would throw bones down on the ground or sticks. They would read them.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about when I was over at Mejdi's, drinking the tea, or the coffee rather. And when you're done with drinking the Turkish coffee, you take the demi-tasse cup and you put it upside down on the plate.
And a witch reads it for you.
And a witch, and like the older women they'll turn over the cup and they'll read your fortune in the patterns, right? So there's like an ancient tradition of finding these patterns in nature and trying to interpret the meaning in them.
Yeah.
And as I'm vacuuming the floor, I get this idea that I'm creating one of these patterns, and that maybe it's meaningful. The patterns are meaningful. It's like there's a certain randomness and chaos to the distribution, and I am, like, documenting that. And so anyway, it's just kind of a silly idea, but it's the idea, this is a very old idea, this idea of divination, of being able to read meaning out of patterns in nature. And here's where I think it gets interesting. I don't think really that the pattern I was vacuuming around in my living room has any meaning necessarily.
I don't either, to be honest with you.
But patterns in nature do have meaning. That's the basis of science, full stop, right? So we notice patterns in nature, like the phases of the moon, or the movement of the stars around the North Pole, or the whatever it is. Like, we notice patterns in nature.
Yeah.
And those things are meaningful. Like, it is the case that there are patterns in nature that are meaningful, that will tell you things, right? Like, if I am a careful enough observer of the patterns of nature, I can tell you when the next eclipse is going to happen.
Yeah.
To the moment, I can tell you.
I think there's, like, some kind of scalability to it. Like, for us, the motions of the stars and stuff affects it. Like, it has a serious impact on the way that our lives play out. Mm-hmm. Those patterns really affect us. Maybe for, like, an ant, you vacuuming the crumbs is really changing things.
Like the butterfly effect. Yeah.
Is it like the butterfly effect?
In some ways.
I guess, yeah, kind of. I can see it.
Well, I mean, imagine Imagine I vacuum up a Jolly Rancher that the kids left on the floor.
Yeah.
And that would have given the sugar for the hive or for the colony. They would have found it like 20 minutes later and would have fed the colony for the next 3 days. But now they got to go to the next yard. And in the next yard, there's birds, dude. And those birds are going to eat the ants to smithereens. They're going to lose whole battalions of men.
Yeah. And
they're going to come back and like, man, if only that Jolly Rancher had been left for 20 more minutes, we could have saved all these lives.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So maybe, but anyway, what do you think about this idea that like randomness might have meaning and that it might be possible to learn how to read it so that you can be the one that can like mine the meaning from it? You know, because it's not a crazy idea when you know like the people that learned how to read the stars knew all kinds of things. They were able to predict all kinds of things. And I just wonder, like, because people did this divination stuff for so long, like I'm trying honestly to take it seriously.
Yeah. So I don't have a hard time believing that something that we perceive as random has meaning in it. I don't have a hard time believing that at all. I do have a hard time believing that everything that is random has meaning. You know, I don't think that that's true. Like the amount, like the shit that's going to be in a public trash can, you know, it's random. People just throw shit into the trash can. I think that a crazy person could take all of the shit out of the trash can and derive some kind of like grand meaning from that. But I think that person has schizophrenia.
Sure.
Now, so there's like two different things, extremes. You know, like randomness does not mean meaning. But I think that some things that, like I said, that we perceive as random might not really be random. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is like going to be a weird curveball to this example, but imagine a piece of art, painting.
I'm imagining it.
Somebody did.
It's a painting. What's it of? Can I imagine? Can I go with it?
Yeah, you imagine it whatever you want it to be. Okay. Now imagine that the painter didn't intend on a particular meaning, but the person viewing it interprets the meaning, some meaning into it. Mm-hmm. Are they wrong? Like it's literally random and unintentional. But let's just say hypothetically, there's some image in the painting that reminds me of something that's specific to me, and suddenly I have an interpretation of this image that's uniquely meaningful to me. Is that false and wrong, you know?
I don't really know. I don't know how to answer that. The painter didn't intend any meaning.
Didn't intend any meaning, yeah.
Okay.
Or didn't intend that meaning, let's say, yeah.
I think that in some way it is wrong, you know? But in another way, maybe it just doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
Because so like what if, let's say the artist did intend something, but it's like kind of innocuous. It's like kind of ambiguous. You know what I'm saying? It's like abstract art. Mm-hmm. Some stupid fucking abstract art piece, you know?
Yeah.
And the artist intended A, and then this person comes into the gallery and sees it, and they interpret it as something completely different.
Yeah.
Are they wrong?
That's the question. That's the question.
I think a lot of artists would say no.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you know, it's like the art, just whatever it makes you feel, man. Whereas I don't really. I mean, I shouldn't say that I don't like any art like that, because I can't think of any off the top of my head. But if I really like, maybe I could think of something.
Sure.
But I tend to like art that does have a message, you know, that does have priorities, you know, in some way. I don't know the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, what the fuck is it? What is it?
What is it? Yeah. Advertising? What is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is an interesting thing, man. Like the meaning the artist intended, it's like almost never the same as what the viewer perceives. And it could be meaningful to you and me, and what is meaningful about it is totally different. And like that's the nature of art in some way. It's like that. Well, that's how it should be. It's interesting. I don't know how that ties into the lines from the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, yeah,
but there was this guy. His name was Rudolf Steiner.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
What?
I was gonna say the name Rudolph. I wasn't thinking I wasn't thinking Rudolf Steiner because in my head I don't really know who that is, but I was legitimately going to say Rudolph.
That's so crazy, man.
That's fucking weird.
That's
man.
serendipity.
Okay, I'm freaked out now.
Rudolf Steiner,
like ghost down here.
He was one of those theosophist guys. He was one of these perennial philosophy guys.
Yeah.
And he was interesting. I read one of his books, and one of the things he talked about was being able to see auras. We've talked about this before, but looking at people and seeing this light, this glowing halo of light around people. And lots of like new age people talk about this. And they'll see different colors or patterns. Some people glowing really powerfully or dimly or whatever. And that means something, you know. And
whoa, amber is the color of your energy.
That's exactly it. Exactly. Yeah. Totally. Thank you, man. So that kind of thing. And Steiner would talk about this, and he would actually say, if you were trying to learn how to see it, like how you should go about it, which I found to be very interesting. He said you should go to like
rub your eyes really hard.
He said you should examine people, you know, maybe even animals. I can't remember, but you examine people in a state where they are desirous of something. So like let's say you take a bowl of candy, you put it down in front of a child, and you know, they're like, oh shit, candy. And they're like so excited they're eating it. It's in those moments, if you look very carefully, that you'll start to see it's in those moments where you have this, you know, expression of, I don't know, like will towards something that's desired, where you'll start to notice. Like, it was very interesting to me that he would say that, and I tried it many times, by the way. I've never been able to see any auras, but I've tried it. But this guy claims that he did. And what was so amazing to me about it is, and also that guy that wrote, right back there, Russell, what's his name? Walter Russell. He talked about it as well. That I'm losing it. Hold on. Reel me in here. What was I saying?
Walter
Russell, and who before that?
Rudolf Steiner.
Rudolf Steiner. Thank you for reeling me in. He would say that you could read the aura. That you could learn to read what it means. So it would be one thing to be able to see it, to be able to detect it on somebody. But once you become proficient, you can see somebody's color and glow, and you can know what it means about them. And maybe it means that you have a kind heart or something like that. Maybe it means something, but it's something about the aura that you can read, almost like you're reading a book. You can learn to interpret it. And this is what's interesting to me about the order and chaos, like the situation is like, is it true that there are people who can interpret chaos and get meaning from it? Like, you know, maybe like the way Rudolf Steiner suggested, or the way I suggested with the vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. But this idea of divination I find to be very interesting, because people took it seriously, and, you know, like, and some people still do take it seriously.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wonder, like, what is, like I said, everything that is random, we can't just go around like, this is random. Let me try to find the meaning in it.
This is random.
Yeah. And all of the stuff that has been, I don't know, what's the word? Everything that has been interpreted is kind of like the innards, like the guts.
Yeah.
It's like visceral. It's like, you know, it's like a hunting situation.
Yeah.
It's like a survival thing, you know, there's like something intense about it, you know, and there's like kind of like life and death hangs in the balance of it, you know? So there's something about that makes it seem a little bit more significant than like the trash in a public trash can, you know? So you got to figure out, like, what are the things?
If I were like let's say I was in like this emotional, like excited emotional state, and I was like, just imagine, just go with me here. I'm like, God, show me a sign, like I'm in one of these desperate situations and I'm like, show me a sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like something happens,
like a dead crow falls out of the sky in front
it's funny.
of you.
I was going to say a crow lands on this. That's weird. But something, right? Something responds to that.
A dead crow with a name tag that says Rudolph on it.
but it's random. And in any other circumstance, you would consider it to be meaningless. But because I'm in this heightened emotional state, I'm like, God, if you exist, show me a sign, and this fucking eagle or whatever, crow lands on the thing and whatever, it caws 3 times at me. It looks at me like dead in the eyes. And I'm like, that must mean something, Yeah. So like, does the meaning lie with the perceiver? Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do know what you mean.
The point is, in this situation, the meaning is random. It comes from an event that we would otherwise consider random if it wasn't for the situation that I'm expecting it to be meaningful.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that a lot of shit is just random. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that there's any meaning to it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any meaning to anything at all. Like, it's all shit.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
We're just a speck of dust floating through the cosmos.
I've gone full materialist atheist. No, I don't believe that at all. But I just don't. Like I said, it's not all the trash can. Like the entire world isn't. I don't know. I don't think that we should be going around trying to find meaning in every random fucking thing. You know what I mean? I think that that's like crazy person shit,
Yes, but I also think that there's a fine line between crazy person shit and mysticism. And that's why I'm like bringing this up, because I think there's a part of me that thinks if I ask, I don't know how to say, if I ask myself, like if I'm prayerfully asking myself, or asking God, I should say, for the answer to something.
What's the difference, bro?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I know that's what you mean.
If I pay attention carefully, I will notice that I respond to myself. I give myself answers. And it's like, I can see that, and I want to see that as a communication, as a genuine communication between God and myself. But what I'm describing is not different at all from somebody who's crazy. It's not different at all from someone who hears voices, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because I say to myself, oh, those things I'm generating those answers. So, and I try to like tell myself they're not meaningful because of that. But this is part of my sort of spiritual journey that I'm on right now, man, where I feel like I have to take that more seriously. I can't continue to write those things off as nothing. There's something in me that's speaking sometimes, and not in a real way. It's not words, but it feels like that to me, like meaning.
You don't think that these I don't know, these things that come up, you don't think that they're just your thoughts?
Sure. Yeah. And I would have explained it that way. I would have said that these were my thoughts. But post mystical experience, now I ask myself, it's like, these thoughts come from me, but aren't my own. That's how they feel. It's not a familiar thought. It's a thought that doesn't belong to me. It doesn't seem to belong to me.
Is there any like differentiating, like?
No, not really.
Like so you say to yourself in your prayer, what am I grateful for? And then you in your head say to your prayer, I'm grateful for my family. There's no differentiating like characteristic. It's all just you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That is one problem that I do have with like any kind of non-structured kind of spirituality. Is it's like, how do you know that is not you? Just like, I I don't know, man. Like, and what I want to ask is, does every thought that you have, is every thought that you have like a divine thought? And I think that you might say yes.
Well, it's not like a conscious thing that I would agree with that. Like, it's not a conscious thing, but I think, I get to a point where I felt that way. I think so. Yeah. That every thought was a sacred thought. Like this is this idea of like kenosis, like Jesus says, emptying himself to be filled by God. And then just noticing that what's moving you is not you, but something else. And I don't know if I'm getting too far off the beaten path there.
I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't know, man. I have a hard time with that, because that, in my mind, kind of leads to the like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm like struggling for this word and I can't find it. Where everything is like permissible, you know, like think of like Andrew Wilson in a debate, like, why is something wrong, you know?
Moral relativism.
Yes, yeah. It leads to moral relativism. It's like, if every thought that I have is divinely inspired and every thought that everyone has is divinely inspired, then what are the standards for anything? You know, I don't know, because I have conflicting thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
totally.
those are both divine. Those are both right. I don't know. It's like, it gets confusing for me real fast.
I wonder, like, to what degree those conflicting thoughts are. I don't know how to say this. Like, I think there's a distinction between, like, it's going to sound weird, like ego thoughts and like what you might call it, like flow state thoughts. I don't know if that's the best way of talking about it, but like, I wonder to what degree when you have a conflicting thought, the conflicting part is more something that you're forcing, for like an ego thing, and not just, going with the flow, which would be more of a.
Is that how you feel about any kind of disagreement you have in your head? That it's like an ego thing? Because sometimes I just think I'm like intellectually struggling with something, you know?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, like, I have to question why I want to think something sometimes, because I wonder to what degree it's ego, you know? I guess, like, with my mystical thing, with my mystical experience and all this stuff, it's like, to what degree am I trying to connect all the dots in a certain way on purpose? And to what degree am I following,
cosmic breadcrumbs?
Follow your nose. Yeah, like the Fruit Loops bird.
Toucan Sam, that's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
All right, next topic. Here's one. Here's an interesting one. All right, so they found like fossilized trees.
Okay.
All over the place.
Okay.
And they were they found them in Yellowstone. So this was
Jellystone?
Wyoming, Montana,
baby.
Montana, and Idaho. Okay, but they also found them in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania. And what they are sediments have buried these trees, and then the trees became fossilized somehow or something. So they survived all these years. And the article was like, do these fossils support this idea of a global flood, like the biblical flood? And so the idea here, they were saying that like a tree will decay, it's made of wood. It's just going to decay.
Yeah.
And so naturally you wouldn't expect these trees to survive the way they did. But they're all upright. They haven't been like pushed over. They didn't fall over. They're upright.
Yeah. So they were obviously like consumed by mud or something like that.
All the sediment that buried them, it must have happened quickly.
Yeah.
And this is all across the United States, they're seeing this. So we know that there's evidence from, like, the ancient Babylonians, where you're talking about the Gilgamesh epic, and, like, the all those rivers over there, the Tigris, Euphrates, the Indus, the Nile, and there's all these floods, and we see the flood stories there, the origin of the Noah's flood story, the Manu flood in India, all these things. But the anthropologists and scientists always said there is no evidence of a global flood.
Yeah.
It was a regional flood, right? Maybe there was a great regional flood.
Yeah.
And now we have this evidence, half a world away.
I'm sure. God damn it! I'm like tangled up in some wires down here. No, you're good. It's no big deal. I'm sure that we could get somebody on the horn, maybe like Neil from Gnostic Informant, who could tell us why that's stupid, and why academia, just blows that out of the water, and why we shouldn't even take it seriously. But I'm happy to entertain it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard, if you go to like Utah or like New Mexico or Colorado, they have they're like mountains, and they're like in the middle of like a desert, and it's just like this thing that juts up out of the earth, and it's like a flat top.
Is that a butte, or is that something else?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
It could be a butte. I wouldn't be surprised.
She's a butte. What? What? Come on, Perplexity.
It's somehow.
Oh, come on.
What is a butt?
All right, Perplexity is going to tell us. Tall, steep-sided, isolated hill with a small, relatively flat top. Okay.
Okay, so it's a butt.
Okay, keep going.
So there's these butts out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's butte, butt, I don't know. But anyways, there's a conspiracy theory that those are actually, and they do look like it, like giant tree stumps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be these giant, massive trees that, I don't know, Paul Bunyan cut down.
That's
or something.
Nuts. Yeah.
I don't really believe
that. It makes
but
me wonder, like, how big, like, the redwoods are in California.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would those trees compare to some of those buttes?
I mean, I don't think.
Let's find out.
I don't think at all,
Oh, they're much smaller, you think?
I mean, they're big as fuck, but I don't think they're as big as a butt, especially like particular butts. You know what I'm saying? There's some big butts out there.
There's a beer called it's called Black Butte Porter.
Black Butt Porter.
Black Butt Porter. Okay. How do the California redwood tree circumference compare to
a butt?
Buttes. I don't know. Here's the clean comparison you're looking for. California redwood trees versus the typical butte. So redwoods, 40 to 60 feet, the largest measuring 90. That's pretty amazing. And then the giant sequoias, 102 being the largest.
General Sherman.
Buttes are 100 to 1,000, as much as 2,000 for the base.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be way bigger.
Okay, well, those are much bigger trees. Because I know some of those redwoods, like, people drive through them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's like tunnels through. They're so big.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen? You haven't?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
I've never been there in person, but yeah,
I'd love to see them.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, people think that those are trees, and they think that, talking about this, these trees being subsumed by mud. Have you heard about the mud flood, the Great Mud Flood conspiracy theory?
No, tell me about it.
I don't know the details of it well enough to like really give you a rundown of it, but it's connected with the idea that there used to be this like great civilization called Tartaria.
Oh.
And that some kind of great mud flood happened, and it like wiped out all the this like advanced civilization. And there are still tons of like like, I don't know, evidence of it, like you can still, and a lot of it has to do with like cities. And this is weird. Cities, it's like they build up like the ground, if you go to like downtown Cleveland and you're walking on what you think is the ground,
Yeah.
like 50 years ago, it could have been like 30 feet lower, but it's not like you'd think that it would look like a parking garage if they're like built, but it doesn't. It just looks like the earth, you know?
Yeah.
It's like these cities are the ground is like constantly coming up, and it's to the point. It's not just like something that happened over like, it's not like a geological thing, you know, like there are levels under, like the buildings were like lower, like the ground level of a building was lower at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was like an outside entrance to the building that is now underground.
Yeah. That's nuts.
It's fucking weird, man. And I'm sure that there is like some good reason for that, you know, that not some like crazy conspiracy, but it is fucking weird.
So it's funny you bring up the Tartaria thing only because like it's come up a couple times. Came up from like somebody who I wouldn't call reputable, so I didn't really think anything about it.
Who do you know? Remember?
It's a friend of a family friend kind of thing. And then, but there's been these like documentaries here and there that I've put on that'll mention it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know much about it, but it sounds like they're suggesting that there was like a kingdom, and it seems like it was in Central Asia, Central Europe, like Eastern Europe or something. And once upon a time, there was some kingdom called Tartaria there. So if you could fill me in, man, I don't know.
I don't, like I said, I don't have the details enough to do like
it's apparently it's like labeled that way on certain old maps.
Yeah. So there was definitely an area back in the day that was called Tartaria because, you know, the Tartars, who were the Mongols.
Oh, the Tartars. Yeah.
And they conquered a giant swath of that portion of the world. So there was, Magna Tartaria, Great Tartaria.
Interesting.
But how that incorporates into the conspiracy theory, I'm sure that is part of it, part of the explanation. But it's one of those conspiracy theories where I feel like they are trying to lump everything into it.
Oh,
because there's stuff about like blimps. Like people used to use blimps for travel, and like they'll show pictures of these skyscrapers and blimps like docked to skyscrapers. And apparently they say that was like the purpose of skyscrapers back in the day was to be like blimp docks. Yeah.
Interesting.
And that it was like a way more efficient form of travel or something like that. I don't fucking know.
Well, let's see what this thing says about the mud flood conspiracy. It says it's a modern pseudo-historical theory claiming that a global mud-based cataclysm buried evidence of civilization called Tartaria in the 1700s, 1800s.
Yeah, like way more recent than you would assume.
Yeah. Worldwide deluge of mud. After the disaster, a less advanced society allegedly dug out. You know what's interesting about that? Now, it doesn't match the timeline, 17 or 1800s, but the Native Americans, I can't remember which tribes, but they have these flood myths. And I think maybe this is associated with the Hopi, but I'm not sure, where they said that they had to go underground to survive the floods, and that they were given shelter by the ant people. So there's these ant people that live underground, and they brought the human beings down in under the earth to shelter them from the flood. And when the Great Flood was over, they were allowed to come back out. And so these creation myths, some of these Native American creation myths, have the first human beings kind of being born from the earth, coming up out like ants up out of the ground after the flood. And so that's kind of an interesting overlap to this Tartaria thing. It doesn't match up in terms of the dates, but interesting.
Yeah. One thing that I do think is interesting about that 1800s thing, and the details are escaping me because it's been a long time since I really went down the Tartaria mud flood rabbit hole. But one of the points that I heard somebody make when I did look into it a little bit more was that 1800s, that's like a weird, he's like, man, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
America was a country then, but it is like, you go back to 1800 and you tell somebody what happened in 1776. It's like, oh, well, we rebelled against the British. It's like, prove it, It's like, it's just a story, you know, and whether, I mean, I do, but I'm not saying that I actually believe that it's not real, but I could see how somebody who is not like really thinking critically could be like, yeah, how do I know that Thomas Jefferson was a real person and that that's not all just like a story,
Yeah.
you know?
Sure.
And I'm not even saying that that's necessarily what the conspiracy theory is saying, but and like once you go back about that far, like 200, 300 years ago, yeah, that's sufficiently far enough that like I don't know how to prove to you that it happened. It's like you are kind of just taking it on faith. Like I know that you can go see physical things that will attest to these things actually happening, but most people don't go see those things.
Yeah.
You know, most people don't give a fuck. They're accepting it on faith. You know, essentially all of history, people are accepting on faith the way that, you know, Christians accept Christianity, Muslims accept Islam.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go to these history classes and some guy says this happened, this happened, this happened, and you're like, okay, that happened, and that
Yeah,
happened.
exactly.
You know,
People make this argument for the historical, like the historical Jesus. They say like there's no evidence that he existed, or but then people will flip the script. Like the apologists will flip the script on him and say things like
same thing about Alexander the Great
or a Caesar. Yeah, it's like
it's a bunch of writing, it's a bunch of books.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty decent argument. Like, I don't know.
There's a whole conspiracy theory too about missing time. It's like I can't remember the details. It was something like the calendar like skipped a couple hundred years, and we just just suddenly a couple hundred years later. Like I can't remember what the argument is. I think I might have seen that on the Y-Files one day or something.
I think I remember some conspiracy theory. Maybe it is because I think it has the same dates, like 1800s.
Yeah.
Is that like the young Earth thing is true? Like Earth is we're not anywhere near as old as scientists say we are.
Yeah.
And that around 1800 is when they started saying we were. And that, it's like all tied into hiding the truth about, who fucking knows, man?
Who fucking knows? I was watching the Triggernometry podcast. You ever watch Triggernometry?
Nah.
Konstantin Kisin?
Yeah, not really.
I like Konstantin. He's one of these guys that grew up in the former Soviet Union, and he's pretty vehemently anti-communist. And I like him.
He's very anti-communist and
Jewish, right? He's Jewish.
Yeah. His dad, from what I understand. So Putin came to power in Russia, and Russia at that point was being pillaged by a bunch of oligarchs.
Yeah.
Just doing whatever the fuck they want to benefit themselves and just pillage the country. And Putin got into power and was like, that's not going to happen anymore. And if you can either you can play ball and still be billionaire. I'm not going to take your money. You can still, but I'm the boss, and you can either fall in line or you can fucking leave. And Konstantin Kisin's dad or somebody in his line was one of the ones who left. I would assume it had to be his dad.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just not sold on Konstantin Kisin.
Well, I like him. The reason I bring him up is because he was talking to some other guy named David Butterfield, who's a classicist, and he was talking about the fall of
David Butterfield.
Butter.
Okay.
Yeah, like delicious butter.
Butter.
He was talking about what happened to the ancient Greek world, like the height of the ancient Greece and how it kind of collapsed.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of interesting parallels between what's going on in the world now and what he described then. So I thought it was interesting. So I just wanted to share some of this stuff with you. So he starts telling me, he's telling in the podcast about this guy named, how do you pronounce it? Cleisthenes? Cleisthenes?
Is trans stuff a part of it?
I think a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is ancient Greece. Okay. He's talking about Cleisthenes of Athens. This is This is 500 BC. And he basically reorganizes Greek society, because you have to remember back then all of the cities in Greece were city states. They were all independent of one another.
Thebes.
So even though they
Athens.
traded, Sparta and all that.
Yeah.
Even though they traded with each other and all of that, they were actually always kind of fighting with each other, and there was never really a unified Greece until they needed to kind of band together. Otherwise, they were fighting each other. So Cleisthenes comes to power, and he, up until this point, there was 10 tribes, 10 Ionian tribes, okay, that lived in their tribes. And he decided, no, four of them, four main Ionian tribes. So he decides there was too much infighting going on between these 4 tribes. So what he's going to do is he's going to break them up into 10 arbitrary new tribes. He's going to get rid of their identity, their like national identity, and he's going to put them into new groups that are make-believe. And he's going to mix them all together. Okay, so this is what he does. He thinks this is going to prevent people from continuing to hate each other because they're all mixed together now. They have to learn to get along, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I guess the point I was making here is that there's a parallel to this idea of mass migration and forced cultural mixing that's going on in the West right now, where you've got people who aren't from the same culture being forced to live with each other, and we're supposed to just learn to get along, right? That's what they're hoping. So this is something that happened in ancient Greece at this time, right around 500 BC. They started paying people to participate in the political process because it was a democracy. Remember, Athens had this early democracy. They needed people to vote. They needed people to sit on the juries, and they needed the system to work. So people had to participate because that's the way democracy works. So nobody would volunteer. So they ended up forcing people eventually, shaming people, but eventually they start paying people to join the political process. And so this eventually starts building up money. Some people now have money because they've been going out voting. It reminds me of the people that are being paid to protest right now. But these people are all of a sudden, back then that most people were poor. Now you have these people that are being paid to participate in the political process, and they start becoming wealthy because of it. Right. And they start persuading other people with the money that they have to vote a certain way, right? They immediately start fucking with the natural democratic process by, back then they would take these pot shards and they would write the names of people they wanted to vote for. Then they would throw them into this thing, and you would count the names off the pot shards. So they would just pay people. And they said that they found stockpiles of broken pots with the same guy's name written all over them that didn't get used. They were supposed to be used. Imagine they're passing them out the way that they pass out signs to protesters now. Yeah. They were passing out these pot shards.
Pass out mail-in ballots.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then they start forcing all of the citizens to vote using social shaming, which was interesting. What they did was they would have this rope soaked in red paint, and they would go to the agora where everybody was, and they would have one person holding the edge of the rope on this end and one person holding the other side of the rope on this end, and they would just start walking towards the exits. And if you got any of the red paint on you from the rope, it was like a sign of disgrace, right? Because you were trying to avoid your responsibility. So what they do is they just start bringing this rope down, corralling everybody towards the wherever they would go to vote or whatever. And if you resisted, you would get paint on you, and then people would ostracize you and whatever. So they were trying to kind of force people to. And so I guess the parallel there is you're forcing people to vote, meaning people who don't want to, who wouldn't vote otherwise, or who aren't interested, who aren't smart and don't have any fucking idea, why they should vote one way or the other. So you start forcing people to vote who really have no business voting at all. And the parallel that I see to that is, well, when we were kids, the whole MTV Get Out and Vote campaigns. It's like we're going to lower the voting age. There's always talking about, the Democrats are always talking about they've been talking about lowering it to 16 and shit like that.
Fucking stupid.
Just going to make everybody vote, you know?
Yep. Yeah, and if you don't vote, you're not doing your duty.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
There's one more. The Athenians, they, like the citizens of Athens, were not allowed to be enslaved, but they had slaves.
Yeah.
So they brought slaves in from elsewhere, right?
Mhm.
So you couldn't be an Athenian citizen and a slave, so you'd have to bring in foreigners. Well, they did that to the point where there were more slaves than citizens. So they were outnumbered by the slaves of foreign people, right? And so I'm just thinking about mass migration, the illegal immigration situation, and 20 million, people coming through the border, that kind of thing. So these are all things that David Butterfield are saying happened that were leading step by step towards the collapse of the Greco-Roman, power in the Middle East. And I just see obviously the parallels. That's what I'm going through. So what do you make of it, man?
I don't know. I don't know if it means anything,
You brought up the sexual liberalism stuff, and that is, although I didn't put that down, that is something that comes up especially when they talk about the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah. I don't know if it's I think it's more that kind of sexual liberalism is it's like a side effect of a dying civilization. Not that it's a cause, of a nation, but it's like something that pops up when a nation is falling apart.
That's interesting.
We start, doing weird shit like that.
That's interesting, man. It's like, when they what was it? Joe Rogan was talking to the Coyote America guy. Can't remember his name, but he was talking about how when the coyotes do their call, howling at the moon,
Yeah, it's like a roll call.
It's like a roll call.
Yeah.
And if coyotes die, they'll have more pups.
Yeah, if Ted doesn't call back,
so you wonder,
to make another puppy.
I realize that like fertility is a problem right now, but I wonder about like the idea of like loose morals. And what I mean is like hookup culture and like, just people having sex willy-nilly without any responsibility or obligation or any of that. Like, do you think that like having more kids, like there being more slutty women, more easy women,
yeah,
that will create more pregnancies and create more children in a time where things are falling apart and we're going to need it?
Working now.
That's what I mean. You're right. It doesn't seem to be working. So that kind of undermines it, but it's an interesting idea to think that.
Yeah. I've heard that before, that like tribal societies, when the men would go away to war, when they came back, it would be like, okay, we need to replenish,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think that, it doesn't seem to be working. Now that's not to say that just because it's not working doesn't mean that that's not some kind of a mechanism that happens. It just means that maybe we're doing other things that are like making it not effective.
Yeah.
Like just abortion, birth control, careerism.
The baby boom after the Second World War is an interesting example. So why were there so many kids being born then? Clearly it has something to do with replenishment. It has, even if it's like subconscious, right? It has something to do with that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder to what degree nature has a mind, like this idea of a collective consciousness.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how much nature has a mind. I also think it makes me wonder how much like a nation has a mind, or a culture has a mind. You know what I mean? It's like a culture gets to a point where it's like oh shit, we got to do something. We got to start making some babies. so we can.
You think about like Nazi Germany, like that whole movement almost having a mind of its own.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I kind of think that not just Nazi Germany. I think that like every big state, every big nation, it kind of gets to a point where it's larger than the pieces that make it up.
Yeah.
It's like
it's weird,
like
man.
an entity of its own.
That's like the zeitgeist. It's like if you can imagine like an American spirit and a European spirit and a Chinese spirit, and like these are the forces that are interacting, in the world today. It's like in some abstract way, that's right. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
I got one more topic for you, Kyle, and we're getting close. I got one more topic, which I was reading the Red Book. I'm going to try to finish it. I'm going to try to finish it because I've been reading it for way too fucking long, and I'm more than halfway through the book. And I may have tried to have this conversation with you last time, so if this sounds familiar, you let me know. But I'm reading the Red Book, and Carl Jung says, I was inclined to yield to the enormous temptation of imitation and to look across to Christ as if he were my goal and not my way. I must realize how Christ actually lived only his own life and imitated no one. If I thus truly imitate Christ, I do not imitate anyone, but go my own way, and I will no longer call myself a Christian. and I like the hair standing up my arms. So Carl Jung said that Jesus said he is the way. That means something. And that Christians he was talking in this Red Book, he was talking about this medieval book called The Imitation of Christ by somebody named Kempis. I don't know. It's like some medieval book. And this whole idea of the imitation of Christ being like a prerogative of Christians to be like Christ, like we're supposed to be like Christ.
Yeah.
And he's saying that Jesus never said to be like Christ. Jesus said he is the way. And so if Jesus is the way and we pretend that we need to imitate Jesus somehow to follow that way, and Jung is like, wait a minute, Jesus went his own way. So if you want to be like Christ, you need to go your own way. And he even says, bear your cross, right? Like whatever your cross is. He says, your path leads to the cross, the same as Jesus, but it's your cross, not Christ's cross. Yeah. And I just find that to be interesting, this different way of looking at Christ as the way or Christ as an object of emulation or imitation. Yeah, and are they different?
Yeah. I mean, that's like the least favorite thing that I've ever heard from Carl. But, I just, in my mind, that leads to more moral relativism, It's like, what I want to do, like, let me just,
Yeah. But he's saying like we all have an individual path, and our life is not the life of Jesus, it's our own. And so we have to follow that path and bear our own cross the way that Jesus did. To live, to imitate Jesus is to bear your cross the way he bore his. I'm not 100% sure what he means by that, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that like not going the way. What am I trying to say here? Christianity is all about like not going the way of the world, like you are outside of the world.
Yeah.
So I think that fits in with kind of what Carl Jung is saying, but this idea, I guess it just depends on what he means by it. And I get the impression maybe that it is like something that would lead to, it's like, it's just your path, man.
Oh,
like
you want to
fucking, you want to smoke dope and fucking, it's your path, bro. Yeah. Whatever.
I don't think Carl Jung would agree with what you're saying. I don't think he would see it quite that way, but I just think it's interesting. Like, what does it mean in the Bible, in the gospel, when Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, the life, the way where, the way to salvation, the way to eternal life. Like what does it mean to be the way? What does it mean to be the way? How would you describe that to somebody?
I mean, I think that in Christianity, like in, you know, Orthodox Catholic teaching, the way it's like the acceptance that Christ is divine and that he died for you, and to for the forgiveness of your sins, and gives you the ability to like we can't, like, you think of like, what's the word that I'm the theosis,
yeah.
you think about theosis, we are not capable of becoming part of God like that because we are flawed. We're like, it's not possible. But through Christ accepting all the, those things and participating the way that you're supposed to, you're made able to become a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so funny, man, because Carl Jung, I didn't write this particular part down, but he said something like that. He said like reaching he said, I look in front of me and all I see is Christ. And so the only way to the goal is through Christ, because he's always in front of me. He's always out past me. So if I'm trying to get to the goal, he's there first. My only way to the goal is through Christ. And he's like, but Christ went his own way. So shouldn't I be going my own way? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is like an interpretation that could be like sound Christian doctrine, but I think whether it's how Carl Jung means it or not, I don't know. But I think that there are a lot of people who would interpret that as do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
It's all acceptable.
Interesting. Yeah, those people would be wrong, but yeah.
I guess they would be wrong. I don't know. But I just think that is one of the, I think that is like a common reoccurring problem, that lots of things lead to that, and we can't have that. And it's a hard thing to like fight back against because it's so appealing to people. Oh, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. Oh,
and somebody like me who's like, no, you can't. You have their rules. It's not popular. It's not like although I think it is becoming more popular. I think people are liking the idea more and more.
You mean I get to eat bacon and lose weight?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just stick myself with an Ozempic pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know either, man. I just thought that was an interesting thing.
I think Carl Jung's full of shit, basically. Honestly.
It's so funny, man. I keep teeing up this this episode of Joe Rogan.
James Tallarico. It's months old.
It just
like
keeps getting buried. It just keeps getting buried. But all I want to do is like shame him, and I just want you to agree with me and shame him with me.
With you.
Yeah.
Whoa, shit, man. You what do you think his chances are of winning?
Oh
the
boy,
seat it's the Senate, right?
Yeah,
he's trying to be a senator.
Yeah, I think so. I have no idea, but I really hope it's his chances are small. I really hope they are, because this guy is I
just don't even like his last name, Tallarico. Go fuck yourself, dude.
I went to high school with a lady that had that name who was
good,
spicy Latina lady.
Is he Latino?
I think he might be Latina. Yeah,
he is a Latina.
Might be a spicy Latina.
He's a spicy Latina.
Big booty Latina.
AOC's. He's Alex. AOC is Alex Stein's favorite big booty Latina. James Tallarico. That's me and you. He's our favorite big booty Latino.
Yeah, Latino.
Just so everyone knows.
I want to call him Latino though, if it's all right with you.
I mean, he would probably be okay with that. He's the type of person who'd be like,
he would have to.
I'm Latinx. He's a Latinx.
Yeah, he's Latinx. Yeah, definitely.
Latinx.
It's one of them Latinxes. Yeah.
It's like a cat. It's like a big cat. A Latinx.
All right. We talked about Johnny Manziel. I think I covered all the things I wanted to cover. Got anything else?
No, we're good, man.
With that, I'll cue the music.
Peace out, fuckers.
Well, there you have it. That's one avenue explored, but infinitely more still to go. I hope you enjoyed thinking along with us. I know. It's not easy work. Thinking.
Take us off the screen for this.
Full of uncertainties. I did there.